does a student who's here in India start the process of looking for a house? Madhu, you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. I think this is one of the most daunting things to do. You sort of don't know where to start. So I'd say one good option is there are some verified USC housing Facebook groups, and several students who are currently on campus keep posting slots to sublease people for, and some of these slots, like they have each of these posts have the apartment address over there. So one sort of good starting point could be to collect all of these posts and look up the same apartments as the ones that people have posted for. So this gives you an idea and is kind of a way to say that someone's lived there. So it's sort of okay to apply there. So another way is to reach out to current students there and make a list of apartments and housing managements which work out well and start reaching out to them. Look for but that said and done, you may always not be able to reach out to people. So just go for a Google search, just look up all of the apartments close by to campus, stick to the DPS limit area, and look out all of the apartment websites. Try to have actual conversations with the leasing agents. Sometimes you don't know and you're getting into a scam. So that's one thing to be really aware of. Talk to them, and before you go ahead and sign the lease or transfer any money to a person, make sure you have video clips of the place or something true enough to tell you that the place actually exists. Yeah.
So, Aayush, what was your experience? How did you find housing when you came to USC?
Yeah. So one thing which helped me a lot were Facebook groups. So I have given 3 groups which I am a part of on the chat. So I would say begin the process like this. First, join all the WhatsApp groups which you can find, so that if you don't have a roommate or if you are searching for a flatmate, you can find similar people from there. Second, join all the Facebook groups because we have active posts coming up on there. From that, you will at least come to know what are the places or the name of the places that you are looking forward to. Third, go to Google because Google Streets View for US is awesome. You actually see what the place is like on the Google Street. So once I saw my place, which I'm about to rent, I went to Google Maps, sorry, and there I saw the street view, how the actual place looks like. Is the pictures matching what I'm about to stay? So it's not a scam or that sort. The people who are staying there, try to connect with them. If you have friends, seniors, you can reach out to them so that they can give a better advice of, okay, this place is good, this place is not good. USC has a program called Student Ambassador via Unibuddy, where you can talk to people who are already studying in USC. So a few of the seniors helped me from there. Even I am an ambassador, so you can reach out to me on that platform. And what else? Yeah, before signing the lease, make sure to read the lease correctly. If what is included, like if thatch is included, water is included, what extra you have to pay apart from the rent perspective. And I think that summarizes what Madhu also said.
Okay. Then one student asked, what issues would I face if I look for an apartment about 3 miles away? Madhu, you want to talk about that first?
Yeah, I'd say the prime issue would be commute, especially at odd times in the day. That apart, I think it depends on the exact apartment that it is. You would have any issues that a close by apartment has, so that depends on the apartment. But the one thing that would set you apart is the commute. So you may want to forget sort of late nighters. I don't know. So it is a little scary to be very far off from campus. It does get cheaper far off from campus because you're away from the safer areas. So you kind of want to make sure that it's okay to be there, and I don't know if you plan to commute by riding to the place or you want to drive to the place. But I think, yeah, if you're riding or if you plan to walk or take public transport, you are definitely at a risk there.
So what is the ideal time to book off-campus apartment considering the current scenario of the pandemic? So So Ayush, what would you say? Where you know what the situation in India is now. There's a flight ban. There are no flights from India to the US now immediately, and then also none of these students or very few of them actually have received a visa to come. So in this scenario, what would be an ideal time to book an off-campus apartment?
Great question, because it is a bit tricky scenario right now. So first thing, what I understand, I know there's a flight ban, but there should be an exception for students. I would say, I would say considering we can fly, it's a good time to start now, because common places like, let's say, City Park, Palisades, or Ellendale Street, they fill up very fast. Point number one. Point number two, because last fall and spring people deferred their admit to this fall, chances are very high. Again, I don't have any numbers. I am just going by the thing which I hear. There might be a high number of people who are flying this year. So again, the places will go up faster. What a person can do is, when they are talking to the manager or the management, that is how things go over here. You can have a word that, okay, if for some reason, if I'm not able to come, will the deposit be refundable? If not 100%, then at least some part of it should be refundable.
Which is the best area around USC with a strong Indian community?
Definitely. So I just on the top of my head, we have Ellendale Street. The entire street is filled with Indian students and American both. It's a mixture. Then we have Palisades. It's a bit expensive because it's a famous. So how things goes, if the place is famous, obviously the rent will be higher. Like City Park is getting quite famous this year. What I have seen, many people are asking questions about City Park. So I have seen the rent have increased for the next term. But places around that, like 30th Street, there are many Indians around me. Then we have 29th Street, Ellendale Street, Palisades, West Adams. So anything around the campus, you'll find many Indians. It's a good thing and a bad thing also, depending.
All right. So coming to cost, what is the cheapest housing option available?
I'll go on that. So
Okay.
it also depends on how many people are sharing a place. So I'll give my example. I am in a 1 BHK and 3 people are sharing it. So it's 600 per person. I was on a sublease, so I got some discount. But actual rent is 600. If I go to my neighbor, there are 4 people sharing the same place. So if you see, the rent actually comes down per person. So
how does that living experience, how does that work out, Ayush? I mean, there's just one bathroom, I guess, right?
I mean, if you have a good understanding with your roommates and if you gel well, it works fine.
Are there limits that the landlord will place on how many people can be in one apartment?
Yes, so it depends on the management. So I know Palisades has a limitation of 5 people in 2 BHK, whereas my place does not have any limitations. So it also depends on the management. That is why we have to read the lease correctly.
Okay.
Coming back to budget, as
I
many people are asking on the chat also. So it ranges from 500 to 750 per person, depending on the people sharing and place and whatnot. For single person, if you are not sharing, it goes from 1000 to 1200 on that range. Yeah, Madhu.
I'd
Yeah.
just like to add that there are also some suitable configurations if you want to go with a group of 4 people. There are some configurations of 1 bed and 2 bath. So typically the hall is shared among 2 people and the room is shared among 2 people, and the hall has like an attached bath, and so also the bedroom. So this is the kind of configuration I lived in my first year, which worked out okay. But it depends. So it depends on what people's sleep schedule is, what their outside work schedule is. So I think as Sudha told, if it's all 4 people living under the same roof at like throughout the day, it is a little bit difficult. But if everything is back to regular functioning, usually different people have different schedules, and it might just fall into place as well.
Yeah, I think, a lot of students spend a lot of time on campus on a normal year, and not as much time in their apartments. So maybe that works. But okay. So what is the situation on the deposit, Madhu? How much is a deposit? How many months of deposit do people have to pay?
I think this varies depending on the management, but I think typically, correct me if I'm wrong, Ayush, but I think it's about a month's rent. On an average, I think it is about that. And sometimes you get most of it back, and sometimes you don't. Again, that depends on how well you have maintained the apartment over the duration of your stay, and most times a lot of it does get cut.
Okay. Ayush, how much did you pay for deposit?
Yes, so it was my 1 month rent. And because I was subleasing the apartment, I had to give it to the person who was staying before me. Sublease means a person has a lease on his name and he's forwarding the lease to you. They're not signing a new lease. So I had to pay it to him. So in my case, I transferred the money to his Indian account. Whereas if you have to transfer to the management, there are two options. Either you transfer it via your friend over here and you transfer it to his account. If you don't have that option, you can request management that you will come here and pay. Option number three, if see if credit card works, because debit card does not work for international payment. And worst case, if nothing works out, then you have to do a wire transfer, which will take time and is a bit expensive also.